This is the Outliers Edge podcast, where we champion the leaders who are shaping the next era of humanity by taking them to the edge of their comfort zone so that they can lead us to the edge of what's next. I'm your host, Niiamah Ashong. Let's do this. Hey, what is up? Niiamah Ashong here, founder of Outliers Edge, where we champion the leaders who are shaping the next era of humanity. Right before we hit record, I was feeling the energy of like yeah, let's just go ahead and play. So the last words I said right before we hit record was just like, let's go play the game, right? And today we have someone who is an amazing game player, who gets me to play. Now, normally when we talk about play in this context here in Outliers Edge, we're talking about a way for you to access a way of approaching a situation with a different mindset, a lighter mindset, a playful mindset, without having to get it right or having to do work. You're able to just go and play. But this person here, Georgina Halabi, like, she actually got me to go a step further. The last time we talked, Georgie, it's great to be in conversation with you. Firstly, it's good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy, Niiamah. Happy and well.
That warms my heart. That's where I want to start. Sorry, let me continue on with this. The last time we talked, which was like late last week, we entered into this conversation. I see you. It's been a while since we like last got a chance to connect, and literally within 12 seconds, you're like, "Oh, I see you have a guitar there. Go play, go play." And I resisted. I was like, "Yeah, I haven't played in a while. Like it's really just there, but I haven't actually picked it up." And you're like, "That's fine. Go play." Right? Play something, play Baba Black Sheep. So I went and I got the guitar and hadn't tuned it. It's in the bass guitar, so you can't actually hear it coming out of anything. I'm like, you want me to play? I'm gonna play. And there was something in that moment that like elevated the moment from just like, let me try and like get out Baba Black Sheep and be all sheepish. It's like, no, if you want me to play, be careful what you ask for, because I'm gonna play, you know. And I was telling you this right beforehand, but since then I've been putting in about an hour a day, just like finding different places, even 5 minutes, just to like get my fingers moving with it. And I hadn't touched that thing for a year. It's been a lot of videos just sitting exactly there in the same exact. You can superimpose all these different conversations on top of it, and it would always be in the same place until you and I talked. And that is one of the things that I think is one of the magic of you, Georgie. You see, you bring an energy of not just play, but transformation and possibility, and you combine it all into presence. When I'm with you, there is no future, there is no past. It's just like, hey, what's here right now? What's here, not only what's here right now, but how do we maximize what is here right now? As I say this, I'm taken to the very first day I ever met you, and the incredible, unique experience that was, in terms of just the structure of it, but how you stepped into that, how you brought us together as a team, and how you continue to lead. Georgia, you're one of the people in my world who I know I can trust to bring humor, but also bring like deep levels of not just intellect, but like spiritual awareness, like coaching awareness, and like agility and flexibility in the matter. Like, you aren't one person. You aren't like just one person all the time. You're like one person though. Like, you're so complete and whole, and it's wonderful to be in space with you. So I'm very excited for this conversation. I have no clue where it's going to go. I'm just glad to be here with you, and giving us the space to, like, I don't know, like, in my mind, just like share you with our world here. Yeah, that feels real for me. Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you, Niiamah. Oh, shucks. I'll receive all of that with love and gratitude. Thank you very much. And it means a lot coming from you, because you've coached me so powerfully over time, and you've really shifted me and challenged me to really step into everything that I am. And I just want to acknowledge what you just did there with the Baba Black Sheep to not being sheepish. I thought that was wonderful.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I like
spotted
that.
that. That was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you noticed that on the subject of play, where we met,
Exactly. That's
play
exactly
to
what I was thinking
win.
about. Play to win. Yep.
Yeah. We were on that weekend, and it was like a full-on packed weekend where we were playing to win, and it was full-on experiential games all around stepping into your authentic self and leadership and overcoming your blocks. It was powerful.
Yeah, as you say this year. So Play to Win, y'all, was a weekend experience put together by Clinton Swain, who like creates he creates games that help you learn leadership, help you learn business, help you learn different elements through a completely different context. I have to bring in, now that you talk, I have to bring Clinton into this conversation, because he not only does he create games, but he creates worlds. And right now world creation is really on my mind here. We'll talk more about that later on. I'm not talking to Clinton right now, I'm talking to you, Georgie.
But
so like,
love you, Clinton.
Yeah, right.
Yes, yeah.
So Georgie, you called out of me like how I see you in this moment, right? And different times I'll say different things, but in the moment, this is what was flowing for me. I'd love for you to talk about yourself here and share a little bit with us about like how you see you, or how others tend to see you. Just let us know like more about you from your own point of view.
Okay, so I am a mother, a sister, a daughter, a coach, a marketing virtuoso. That's my background in advertising and technology. I'm a spirit trying to find herself in this ever-changing world and appreciating every moment of play. I'm all of these things and more. And then I appreciate also at the same time that I'm none of these things. I'm just the awareness that's watching all of it. So that's a very deep answer straight off. I live in the UK. I lived in Asia for 18 years, which is where we met, in Singapore. And today I coach highly successful, highly aware executives on accelerating their career success with well-being, not one at the expense of the other. And there was something that you said earlier, which was all about playing the guitar, that really brought something to mind for me that I would love to play with you.
Yeah, let's go.
So the idea of play, when you play an instrument, and most of the time people confuse playing, which is free and open and experiential and playful, right? Like a kid does, as compared to performing. A lot of people play music to perform. And I think as a society, we've stopped playing and we are only performing. We're so entrenched in what other people think of us or how we look that we've lost that freedom to just dance like no one's looking, to play. And when you look at kids, and Niiamah, I'm sure you appreciate this with your son, they have no agenda whatsoever. They don't care what other people are doing, and they're just playing. They're constructing, they're deconstructing, they're smashing over and over again. They don't care. They're just curious about everything.
I like
and they learn so much.
So let's do this. Help me make this real, right? So what I'm hearing here is you brought in a nice distinction of play versus perform. And I'm using my language and the way that I tend to construct these things, right? So there's an element of play, which you described as like the childlike element of it, just doing it for this, like in the sake of it, and then this perform. How would you define perform versus play? Let me hear your definition of that distinction, and then I want to try and make this real for me in this conversation.
So performing might be picking up your guitar and playing in a concert. You're performing to people. People are watching you. There's a level of expectation in your presence, which is I'm playing for everyone else. Because the outcome is I want them to be happy. I want to be my best. I have to hit all the right notes. I have to perform, right? There's the performance. Whereas playing is like a heart-opening experience. It's like purely curious. You're jamming, you're playing, you're connected to the music, you're present.
And what's
Play
interesting,
is a lot more powerful than performing.
Well, let's finish. Let me tie this in here then, right? Because what I'm getting here, and from my own experience, what happens is that they're not necessarily mutually exclusive, in the sense that it's almost like a great performance, like an elevated great performance that either leaves people with tears in their mouth or gets them jumping out of their seats and like joining with you in the experience, that can easily come from play, right? Yeah. It can still, like, it's not that, and I think it's important to put this in here, because I think it's almost like, well, I have to perform. Like we have to get the results. And I think part of what I'm hearing you point to is, y'all, you can get the results even better, or like or even more easily, like in terms of like the effort that needs to go in, without having to try and go for the results itself. If you were simply in play, like that could offer something that goes far beyond the actual like, I gotta perform in this case. Like this is some of the things that I'm putting in as you're saying it, because I'm playing it out in my mind. I'm like, yeah, I love play, so I'm gonna try and see. Tell me, am I pointing us in a direction that like makes sense with where you're going? Take us in a different place otherwise.
Yeah, no, it does. And I'm not saying don't have, performance measures. Don't stop having goals. You can still have goals, right? You can still have outcomes that you want to achieve, but look at the energy that goes into performing. Think about, you've got to put the best performance in of your life, right? Now, whatever happens, you've got to perform and you've got to impress all these people. What happens as you go into that energy? How do you feel in your body when you think about performing?
Are you asking me, or are you
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
that? Okay. So right now you have to ask me again, because I got really curious as you were talking about like what's going on like in the brain chemistry. I was like, I really
Okay.
wonder if there's like cortisol that goes on, or like adrenaline that comes in certain thing, whereas there's
Yeah.
other types of like brain like things being released. I'm not like a neuro expert, but
Yeah.
I know someone out there is watching this and they're like, it's exactly this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine this has to be the best podcast you've ever done. Are you ready? Come on, don't mess this up, Niiamah.
Yeah.
This
I
has to
I, I
be
get I
nail
get
it first time.
feelings in my gut. But it's not the feelings that I get, just to talk more about it, is like I feel clenching. I actually feel clenched overall. And I also feel a narrowing of ideas. It's like, okay, this whole scope of what this conversation could have been just like starts to like all those things like go away, and it's like, oh, like we're looking at this very narrow space. And then for me, because this is how I also operate, that leads to a feeling of like of moving into an expectation. So so there's now this is unspoken expectation here of I must be delivering the best, and which causes a lot of pressure here. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make it any better. It just like actually tends to disconnect me, because rather than me being with you, I end up thinking, oh, what's it like? You're talking to me, and I'm thinking 2 or 3 questions ahead, and trying to be like,
Yeah.
oh, well, if she stops here, this is what I'll say. Oh, she didn't stop there. Okay, but I still want to say, because that was actually a good point. Oh, wait, where's she say now? Oh, like I get caught up in that, and it ends up like in my mind tripping me over from the very beginning. So that's how it works for me.
Yeah, amazing. You get kicked out of presence. You get kicked out of flow because you're anticipating everything in advance. You have to be the best. And, from the neuroscience perspective, you're actually working from the back of your brain, and you've got the cortisol running and the adrenaline running. Your heartbeat might be raising. I can feel it with mine. Just even thinking about this, you can see posturally, right? Watch the posture. We clench downwards, sweaty palms or whatever. That's performing. All right, now let's just hang out, you and I. Let's play. Let's explore something fun. Let's open up a world of possibility for each other and for anyone else who happens to be listening. Let's see what life, the universe, and everything else serves at us. Let's
All
play. Right.
So
And then what does that feel like in your
so
body?
I'm going to put us into this space here, and I think we're already doing it. But I'm gonna turn the dial up on this just a bit here, and the dial that I want to turn up here is for the two of us in this conversation to keep each other like honest. So if there's ever a question that I ask that feels like that feels that it's coming from a performance side of things, like, oh, Niiamah's like being the host now, he's trying to like he's trying to lead, he's trying to do things, like call me out and just be like, hey, Niiamah, that question felt more like performance than play. If we're gonna play, where are we at? And I'll do the same too. Like if I'm like, hey, I need to feel you, and I'm feeling the performance side here, like, can we just let that go? And like, let's not try and be helpful. Let's just play here in this conversation. Let's do that. And I think that like that could like, me, I don't like to talk about things in hypotheticals, because all the hypotheticals are already out on Google. You can just Google them and go to someone's website, and they'll tell you the 5 hypothetical things to do in order to show up in the world. And when I read those things, I'm like, yeah, but my situation is different. or like that's like I can't just walk into a meeting and start playing. That wouldn't that doesn't that won't line up. So I would love for the way that we choose to be in this conversation to actually put our, I was gonna say our money where our mouth is, let's say our time where our mouth is in this case here, and continue to be in the space of play as we play. You good with that?
Let's do this. Yeah. We'll bring compassionate awareness to each other if we slip into that state.
Perfect.
But I need to shift because physiologically I've just gone, into that state of what if. So we do need to shift into the play space. Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's
what
do
what
it.
would be what would help us play? I mean, generally I find doing something silly or
yeah, I like, it's interesting because it's like I play for me is like the state of coming into it, right? For me, it's like it's that element of curiosity, like that, like, all right, let us play into what this could be. Play also for me is like going into something. Like I have a lot more fun like diving into something than not. Like juggling for me is work because I'm not in the playful mindset of that. I'm trying to get this right. I can't, it's not playing yet, you know. But like just the dexterity of our conversation without us, like I think play for me is just me and you. Like that can be play. Like anything of trying to like get to other people, that's where I feel like I get into performance.
yeah, when we're trying to be clever.
Yeah, exactly. Like not necessary. People will get what they need to get. I'll get what I needed. It's just that. I'm just that. So let's do this here. And I like the way you're playing, which is like let's just keep seeing what unfolds, what comes out of here. While I'm playful, I don't, how do I say it? While I'm playful, I may not be the one that like comes out and like has like that guitar was just sitting there. You know what I mean? So I tend to be playful through my words and through things, which might take us back into the head. So if there's something that comes up and you're like, hey, Niiamah, we should do this. Let's go ahead and do it. I just don't know what it is beforehand. But I know that I'm in the reception of it and also in the active like search of like, ooh, okay, what if we went there instead today?
Can I share something that it was a memory? It just popped up for me.
Yes, please.
This is going back at about 25 years ago, and I was in a relationship, and I became aware intuitively that something wasn't right, and I found out that I'd been cheated upon, and I walked away with a bag of shopping that contained, of all silly things, my partner's cheese. Now, my partner had been away for a year and he was coming back to the UK and he was so happy to have his cheddar cheese. And we'd gone to buy this cheddar cheese. So I walked off with the shopping basket or the shopping bag. And I was in this beautiful park overlooking a bridge. And I was feeling wretched. I was feeling absolutely, my guts were, coming out my whole body. And I took out this cheese because I was also pissed. I took out this cheese. I unwrapped it because, of course, I'm environmentally conscious. And I took this block of cheese and I lobbed it as far as I could into the river. And it was so ridiculous, sitting on this beautiful bridge on a lake surrounded by swans and passers-by and flowers, and it's a beautiful spring day. There I am lobbing cheese in. And it was such a silly moment. It was such a playful moment that I just laughed. It broke everything. It broke that whole guts hanging out feeling. And in that moment of throwing that cheese, in that moment of playfulness, I kind of thought, I will always be all right. It doesn't matter what life throws at me. I will always be all right. I'll always be able to throw some cheese or do something ridiculous. So that to me is how play can shift your whole mindset.
As you say this, here, it's like it doesn't matter what life throws at me because I'm gonna be throwing something back too.
I'll
right?
throw cheese back.
Yeah. I love I love that example, and what's calling out in me is like it's taking me down the path of like some memory lanes. And I'm hearing like you're in a place of pain. You're you're in the UK, and when I think about the UK, just kind of like just broad strokes, right? I feel like there's like high levels of decorum, and it isn't just a place where people are out there, I don't know, like eating an apple core and then tossing something over things like, here you go, it's like that to me just seems like it'd be so out of the norm for that experience to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm imagining that in this moment right now.
Nobody was looking. That was just my sneaky moment of lobbing the cheese. That will always be my own moment, my own memory.
Yes.
Like beautiful.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
I love that you bring in play from this perspective of like just even the mind, like the energy shift, you know,
Mm.
to be in one place and then to like all like it feels like a pattern interrupt. It's like
Yeah.
this is something I wouldn't normally do, you know,
Yeah.
and it was just so ridiculous that it's like, okay,
Yeah.
that,
Completely.
yeah,
Completely incongruous. That's why I actually laughed out loud. I was like, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. I love doing that. That was great. It was a statement.
yes. See, like, so I'm in here. I'm like in my mind, I'm playing with this here because I love this idea of like what's the thing that like what if we all just took like found one thing in the next 24 hours that was completely incongruous with what like how we would be, you know, like just like open things up, especially in the context of like when things feel heavy, right? Like so like I'll like to like put that in. I'm imagining in this moment, I'm like, oh, what would that be for me? I'm like, what is because I've been trying to like live, I'm trying to be active about like what the life that I want, the way that I do things. I think that like a moment like that happened with the guitar. I'm like, I don't play the guitar. Like like it's just there, but like I was a guitar player, but like I actually haven't. And just like snap out of that a bit came in. All right, I know something I'll do that's just to be here and see like let's just see where this takes the conversation.
Yeah.
All right. In front of me, in my hands, I'm holding two bobbleheads, two bobbly bubbles. Both of them are representative of the same character from the Marvel universe called Nick Fury. As you may be able to see, you can see his feet in the background above the guitar.
Yeah.
And I remind myself that I'm Nick Fury. Like basically, like I don't need to be a superhero. It's my job to like go and assemble all the people who are up in the world that have something amazing to offer and give them a platform, get them together. And that's basically it. Once I get them together, we're good. Every once in a while, I might show up in a helicarrier and be like, hey, I've put a new platform underneath your feet, and now I'm raising you this way, you know, or you thought you were sinking down deep, but now we're going out from there. What I like to do here, so these bobbleheads remind me, like, don't try and be Captain America, which is what I thought. Like, don't try and be the hero. You know, you're not Iron Man. You don't need to go out and fight the fights in the same way, right? But what you do need to do is make sure that like your team, the people you're out there assembling people, and the team that you're assembling are coming together so they can go do the things in the world that like that they're here to do and that they couldn't do alone. So that's one. I think I would like to have at least like the next 10 seconds just like channeling Nick Fury. I'm gonna have you actually talk to Nick Fury. This version I think is the one I want to talk to. This is the one that's being vested. We'll have Nick come in. I'm putting him in front of my mouth in the camera as I
Yeah.
can, right? And then like we'll just continue the conversation here for like the next minute here with Nick playing in this space. You good with that?
Yeah. I'm so happy to see you, Nick. I've admired you for such a long time.
Georgie, I've been feeling the power that you have out here. And I have to say, like, we've been keeping track and it's time. The world needs you right now.
I'm ready. Have you got me a cape?
Where we're going, you won't need capes. All
Ooh,
right.
is it going to be warm? Because I live in England and I'm cold a lot.
Yes. You know, the thing that comes here is right now, there's a crisis in the world. And you know what that crisis is. I've been seeing you out there living toward that crisis, moving toward that crisis. And I want to make sure that like we're actually getting you on the ground, really working toward that crisis. Georgia, remind me, like, what's the crisis here that you are working towards right now?
Oh, it's a big one. People have stopped believing in themselves. They kind of don't trust themselves. They're full of self-doubt and they've stopped accessing their greatness within. We have to do something, Nick.
And this is why I brought you together, right? Like I know that you're not alone, and it's time for us to like get you to go out here. That like this is one of the biggest crises that is facing humankind right now. Tell me if you like. Tell me the destruction and damage that it's doing right now. Tell me like what have you seen?
People are looking inwards, just like you were saying, it's going myopic. They're feeling stressed. They're stopped noticing all the beauty around them, all of the kindness. They're just within their own world of pain and they're suffering. And it's so unnecessary. It's a pandemic. It's terrible.
You have a superpower, which is why I specifically called you into this space. There's no one else on this planet that has the powers that you have. What are the powers that you are currently bringing to the table?
Oh, where to start, Nick? The first thing is that I can see into people's souls. So I'm able to read eyes. I've always had a very strong intuitive sense. So I've been able to see the suffering from a very, very early age, what they want, what they don't want, and all of their greatness that they've got. So that's the first superpower. And I don't talk about this very often. I kind of apply it a lot, but I don't talk about it. The second superpower that I have is that I get people to be able to see their own greatness and their own wisdom. I'm able to help them switch from that self-doubt into that place of compassion and wisdom that naturally emanates in when they just switch off their shouty mind.
So tell me here, like for this particular crisis, like what I've seen here, we've done our reports, we've done our scans here. Like the number one most effective thing against this thing is like it's missing like the space of the eye reading, this thing that doesn't necessarily come out here. How can you bring that into really taking on this crisis once and for all? Once I know you got that, then I can step away and you can go back to having a conversation with Niiamah.
You're making me want to wiggle my head so much here, Niiamah. Ah! Yeah, well, the eye reading only works with one person at a time, but I can apply all the learnings that I've got and help as many people as I can, right? And the way that I would do that to help as many people as I can is I would help them just quiet their mind. When you quieten your mind, you switch on a part of your brain that is resourceful and creative and amazing. And then from that space, you're like, I'm not the problem, I'm the solution. And then they could step in and serve themselves and serve the world. You know, we unlock this within each other. You are amazing. You have everything that you need within you. And as soon as you realize that, you stop this life of draining and scarcity and over-consuming and anger, and all of that just goes. I mean, yes, it takes time and it takes awareness, but it starts with quietening your mind. So I actually have this special Men in Black gun. Hold on a second. Mm-hmm. And what I'm going to do is it shoots this ray that allows people to just switch off their shouty mind. And how am I holding this gun? It's like this. And it just allows them some peace. It just allows them to quieten their own inner judge. And it's amazing. I go, and I spray everyone with this. And all of a sudden, it's like breathing again. It's like, oh, hello, world. Here I am. Let's go have some fun. Let's go play. Thank you, Captain Crusader Georgie. Whatever. I need a name. Nick.
Potentially you do. Nick, I'm glad that you came out to come play. Thanks here. I'm gonna put you down to the side for a bit here so I can just be with Georgie. Thanks for doing the work that you do. Yeah, whether you need a name or not, like I get
another label.
Yeah, I'm like just keep going out there and doing the work. Let's talk real quick here. Because I want to get us into I want to talk real quick. How was that experience for you? Like I talk about the bobbleheads, but they sit there as a symbol and a reminder. They've never actually entered into an experience with me. We'd love to just be in like the space right now, just like how was that for you? What was going on for you as I came up with something completely random, and we took it from there.
I like it. It opened something up. It was playful, right? So it was about tapping into my superpower. And I just realized I have a superpower. I've got this amazing ray gun, and this is where I can help people. But where I am going to call myself out as being a little bit disingenuous, and I only worked it out as I was saying it out loud, is, that spray gun, that laser gun. It's not the first. It's not my own. Everybody's got it. You've got every single fundamental religion, Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, all of them, they talk about quietening the self, quietening the mind, be it through prayer or meditation or whatever. Whereas I think my superpower is probably a lot more the ability to eye read. I can't do that on scale, but you change one person's life, they change many more people, and they change many more people. It kind of still has the same effect. And I also believe that if you change other people, you change yourself, and you kind of just change you kind of do it in the service of everyone. You change yourself and you change other people, and it affects everyone. It's like it goes into this universal consciousness, given that we're all the same atoms and carbon, and you help one person, you help everyone.
So it's something that's happening for me, and there's a bit of like, I feel like there's a bit of like an apologetic tone that comes out where it's like, I can only do this with one person at a time, and you've said it like 2 or 3 times now in this conversation. You said it to Nick twice, and then me right now. It's like I can only do it with one person at a time, and I'm like that's diminishing the superpower, that like the thing is like it is something that is done one person at a time, and whether, and you said I can't scale it. I'm like, I don't think that's necessarily true. And there is like the ripple effect elements of it all, but like let's talk, even me and you right now in this conversation. The two of us are in like we're sitting in the Zoom room. This is not even a live conversation right now. I'm thinking about doing some of these conversations live going forward and just kind of broadcasting it a bit more on the world, right? But like we're just having our experience here together, right? And it's because I've chosen to like hit Control C or Alt C and get us to like have a recording going on, that like this experience that we have, which could have just been the two of us, it now has some opportunity to go out into the world in a more scaled version. You may not be able to eye read every single person in the world at the same time, but it doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities for scaling out there. If you ever want to, I don't think you need to. But don't like, it's not like one of those things where knee jerk, like, oh my gosh, we've scaled that. No. But if you ever want to, if you ever want the power of what it is that you do to be felt by thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, from just while still being with one person at a time, let's have a conversation, because like there are ways to do this, especially with, I've gotten eye reading from you. So like with how powerful you are, and what happens for the person like that is going through that experience. There are ways that we can magnify that and amplify that in a very wonderful, magical way here. So just know that like I'm on your team for that. And if your superpower is one person at a time, that's great. Scaling one person at a time is very possible. It's just different than like the one to many at a time.
So I think we'd need to play with that to open up some ideas for me.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So like let's just be in like the brainstorm a bit here. Like because like as I'm sitting here, like I'm actually thinking, I'm imagining you like in a stadium. I kid you not. Like I see you in a stadium. And I think about it like those, like a concert where someone's like singing a song that everyone has known. It's not like they've heard it tens, hundreds of times, and they go to the concert and the singer isn't singing, and the band is not playing for the hundreds of thousands in the stadium. The singer is talking to you or touching to you or singing to that one person who like really needs to hear that song right there. Perhaps even their past self that didn't hear this in that moment. And it's because of that like you start hearing the thing gets eerie, or he starts to hear like the audience starts singing back. And then like it's like, well, I was gonna sing, but it looks like y'all are having a moment now. So let me channel and be in the conduit of that. I see in my mind a world where like that's possible, that like that you're bringing in the eye reading on that level. Someone's there and you're having this experience with that person, and that person's going through their experience, and the two things that come to mind are like that person gets their experience, people get to experience what it is that you're doing, and opens up, takes them on whatever journeys they go on. That person then gets to go out through the rest of the experience and continue to grow and see what happens from there. You can always highlight that in different ways. Sorry, my mind is just going right now. You're gonna stay with it.
Yeah.
But it also gives you a chance afterwards to take that eye reading experience and then like expand it or apply it or help other people apply what just happened into the context of their own world. So yeah, let me pause there. Go ahead. I can
What I love about that, Niiamah, is when you put it as a stadium and it's like music. So I'm focusing on that one person and I'm helping that one person, but the vibration The music is being felt even silently by
Yeah.
people. And it's planting those seeds within lots of different people for their own growth. And I'm not attached to performing to everyone. I'm there helping that one person. And within that, there's that trust that every single person in the stadium is exactly where they need to be. And I can plant those seeds. Some of them they will fruit, some of them they won't. You know, it's that complete just generosity of being able to help one person and allowing everybody else to tune in on the same frequency if they want
Yes.
to. I like that.
Yeah. Like the idea for me is like who cares about scale, right? Like right now, can you amplify first? Like, can you just like to me when I think about scales, like can I go to every single person and like I read and let me go and like like the scaled version of this, like in terms of because I've done tech, right? When I think scale, I think about a robot that goes through and like tries to detect all these different micro movements in someone's eyes or something like that, and they're like, okay, this is what that to me is like where we get to scale. And I think like the idea of robotics in this and all that, like it's just nowhere near.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's that element of like, I have this microphone right here. It can still sound really loud. I'm gonna take it back because it's not that on the pop filters and all that, but it can still sound really loud, even though I'm really just talking to me in this moment. Like it can be super intimate, but if we turn up the volume, we increase the gain, and we just do whatever we need to do at the utmost level of clarity that we can, it will carry out.
It's like our silent jamming session on Friday. You with your bass guitar,
Yes.
singing for the joy of it and helping, and me on the guitar, on my daughter's piano.
Yeah. You
They were
said it out
switched
loud.
on, like,
You said you didn't want her to know.
jamming.
You're like, she's gonna know that
Don't
I'm in
worry.
here.
Oh yeah, don't worry. She won't listen to this boring coachy stuff.
All right,
Yeah,
cool, cool,
not
cool.
her thing.
All
But
right, cool.
you plug it in, you switch it on, and then suddenly it amplifies. We were happy to just play silently and to sing along, but we
Yes.
can plug it in and everyone can hear.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. I love that too, right? Because like going back to that, you couldn't hear what I was playing. You literally tried to listen to it, and I'm like, I could hear some vibrations from the strings, like it just wasn't coming through. But again, the impact, the effect of it was already carrying through. And the effect of what it then called from you, where you're like, hold on, I'm taking you on a walk with me. Like the piano wasn't like just there. You're like, oh, do, do, do. I have friends that like are in their room and they're like, I'll just like, this is what I'm feeling. And they'll just start playing chords or they'll make up a song to this, like, to that's part of their coaching tools. I have friends that just do that. They just literally just whip out. You like ran down the hall, like went to this room and then started playing the piano, which is also just like the air piano. You had a physical piano and you had an air piano. Like on top, you're like, I'm not actually gonna make any noise with it. So I really I've experienced the power of your superpower, you know. And I think that I'm not saying that it needs to be stadiums, but what I am saying is that like, should you want to have this impact brought to more people, we can have conversations. There are definitely pathways to that, and it doesn't need to be and it doesn't need to take away from the integrity of what you're doing. In fact, it probably just requires even more intensity, you know, to be even that much more powerful with the iRead, with that one individual, so that the energy carries through in that way. Like that to me feels unapologetic and creative at the same time.
Niiamah, you've always been so good at zeroing in on, are you leveraging that superpower? Step into your higher self, be great, stop hiding. And I absolutely love this because now, I've done that. I've done the work. I'm this whole year is about living into my gift. And now you're talking about scaling it and amplifying it, and I'm loving it because I can already feel I'm getting sweaty palms. It's like the difference between having to play to a stadium where I'm going, oh shit, playing to a stadium, look at all these people. Whereas that whole idea of just playing to one person and other people getting it, that I can do. So I'm happy to explore it.
Let's do this. What's coming to me in real time here is let's not do it right now. Because I think if we try to do it right now, we would leave play and enter perform. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be in that space. And I don't know if this works virtually, right? You can let me know if it does or doesn't. But if there is a way, because I'm not in the UK right now, the two things that in my mind, I'm like, well, maybe we change that. If I come up in there and we make something happen. But if there is a way to do something virtually with this, or like there's any interest in it, I'm happy to like create a space for us. We can do a session, we can do whatever it is, and it can just be recorded. And you can just have like a lived experience of this. I'm very big in like, have the lived experience, like see what it's like. And like, if you're good with it, you know me, I'm pretty transparent about things. And like, I want to get people, again, the helicarrier, like this is my platform. I'm here to put something underneath your feet and like, and lift you up in that way. So like, I'm happy to put that conversation through all of our marketing channels, through all the things that we do here, and give you a chance to just get like a taste for through one conversation, what it might be like to like do your work and then see the ripples of that being actively constructed and put out into the world. We don't need to do that, but I would like to extend it as an invitation here if you want to play that way.
Yeah, I accept. And just to show you what has been going through my mind, the first thing that I thought of was I could do like a live eye reading for someone.
Yep.
If that's what they want. And then the next thing that kicked in was, oh, you better not do that. What if you get some things wrong? Yes. And then there's going to be public humiliation and then shame. Or what if that you get it right? And then you're going to be like, I have this whole hang up from past lives where I'm sure I've been burnt as a witch so many times. Better keep it safe, better keep it under the belt, don't want to be burned. So that just came up for me and I just went, noted. Yeah, let's do it.
I love it. And the way that I choose to play here, like, would be this. The two things in my mind would be like, let's like what if the game was, I'm going to play this game so that I get burned, right? Like I'm going to play this game so fully. I'm going to let like whatever this is, whatever this power out so much that like people want to burn me at the stake. It'd be like that person in front of me wants to burn me at the stake because like it's so spot on, it's so true, it's so raw, it's so real that like it burns away, excuse me, it burns away anything else that they could hold back on, and make that actually the game. That being said, I know that like that may put us into like a space of danger for you. So then the other part of that is like coming to me, coming to others, coming to other places to be like, hey, I'm about to get burned at the stake. I could really use you creating like this is the Nick Fury now that coming in. Can you help us? Can you help me create a flame retardant like dress, because they're gonna burn me, but like I can handle flames. That's like it's those kind of components here that I think like that's how like that's the game that I want to play with you, which is like, all right, yeah. What if we were going for the flames? And if that ended up happening here, like, how do we help make sure that like you don't get burned, even if they want to burn you? Like,
well, do you know what I need? Hold on a second. Yeah, I need this. I need this gun, this laser gun. And I'm going to turn it around myself, and I'm going to shoot. So that I'm not self-doubting. I'm confident within, And it's not even the within. It's I'm a conduit. We are conduits of stuff. We're here to help people. There's, because we can. We're conduits. And so when I tap into it, it's not my energy. I'm not draining it from other people. It's coming to me from above. It comes from here. So I don't need to trust in me. I trust in that.
You got what you need. You got what you need from this. Yeah. So like, let's start wrapping up this conversation. Know that I'm game. I'm just game. I think that's really it. All right. We're talking play. I am game for whatever iterations, whatever things you need to try out there. Like, I like to keep things simple so that like you can just have a lived experience of it. And then maybe you do it one time and then months later you do it again. It's okay. But I'd rather you come from the place of like, I'd rather you have the experience and know that it's something that can be done, and then decide when it is that you want to actually, if at all, you want to amplify it even further. You good with that?
You were just saying about play, there is only the now, only ever the now. So let's capitalize on the now. And when I click, I'm not playing music, to my own sound. Yeah, I'm singing. Yeah. It's literally moments of presence. So if anybody who's watching this wants to volunteer, let's do an eye reading.
All right, so let's do this here. That's a good thing. What is because I think I'm going to ask you this question. I have two questions now as we wrap up. I'm going to switch my order for you. If anyone here wants to volunteer, do an eye reading. All right, let's see this here. There's something about that volunteer language that doesn't feel like it hits into the superpower of what you got, right? I'm just gonna say that out loud. Like it's not like I volunteer as tribute for like to be this experimental. It's not that. The reason I'm saying this, I'll be very honest with you. The reason I'm saying it is because every time I get an eye reading from you, it's like it leads to powerful insights that make me challenge the way I think about myself, and actually hits into my spirit and soul, which is not something I got like I readily get access to. So if the invitation is like, if someone wants to come and play and get like, and like have a powerful experience to experience you at like bringing your superpower to the world to handle the biggest crisis in the world right now, and have that, and not have it done on a macro scale, but have that crisis resolved for them inside of them. Like I would love to put it in that context there, rather than just like, if anyone wants to volunteer, and I'm like, no, this ain't just something that you do. Like, you are powerful and it is great and you're awesome with it. I want to make sure we put it out into the world from that standpoint off the bat, because yeah, I want someone that's coming in there knowing that like their life could forever change for the better by spending time with you in this space.
So step up if you want to have a deeply transformational eye reading experience with me. And it's not like iridology. It's literally, I feel into it and I see and I feel whatever it is that you've got on the inside, all of the good, all of the challenges, what you want for the future. It's like you allow your soul to open up. And I get the honor and the privilege of reading it and being able to help you from a very, very transformational internal space with love, with compassion. It's like the universe coming in to help you through me.
How can someone, if someone's interested in that, how can they get in touch with you? How can they take you up on that? How can they step up with you?
Well, why don't I share my website details? And there's a
say it right. Yeah, tell us what it is, because like I don't really do a lot of show notes. Like typically I'm an audio person. Like, so what's your website? Let's make sure that people can know that.
It's georginahalabi.com. I'm going to spell that Georgina Halabi. HAL for London, A for America, B for Berlin, I for India. I don't know which one. .com. And at the bottom, there's a contact me, and come and when you send in a request, just note eye reading. So I don't want to be doing thousands and thousands of people, but maybe the top 2 or 3, I'd love to help. Yeah. And if you're open to it, I can record it so that you can share this, Niiamah. We can amplify this on your platforms and mine.
I'm always open to it. That's the thing. Like, I really am game. I'm out here testing the boundaries of the world to see where are the various paths to help us create our next era, or shape our next era of humanity. So I'm all about finding different ways to like show that like, hey, there's more available to us than we might think. So yeah, to any extent that you would be willing to share that gift with me, to be able to help people see like, hey, here goes someone else. She's an outlier. She's one of the only people I know who's doing this. And this is the way that she's been able to translate this thing that, easily could have been hidden, could have been put into like a corner, and she's actually shining a light on it and helping people like transform through the experience, and helping others transform by having the space to them to know that whatever their superpower is actually has room to be amazing in this world.
Yeah.
I would I'm a huge fan of that. I'm game. Like, let's make that happen to whatever extent you're good with it. I'm great with it.
Let's play. Let's play, guys.
Let's do this. Let's do this. All right.
Make it interactive. Come play.
Come play with us. You can go to the website, go to the contact page, and engage in that conversation from there. Don't forget to put in I read when you do that, so that Georgie has a way of knowing where to go. So then we'll end this here with the last question. In a lot of times people will go and say, what's a message that you would want to go and tell your past self? Right? I'm not interested in that. You don't even need to go there. I'm not interested. What I am curious about is like, in this present moment, what's a message that you would want to leave for your future self? So that, and this is a moment for you. like that you can come back to, that you can be rooted back in, that can help you instantly center or pull away everything else that isn't important and get you back to your core. What's that message?
You're exactly where you need to be. And I'm going to have two messages. I'm feeling playful and sneaky. So the second message is that everything that happens, good or bad, is my soul's knowing and my soul's creating. That's why I'm exactly where I need to be.
And with that, Georgie, we'll conclude this particular conversation. Thank you for playing. Thank you for getting me to play. I'm just like, you have no idea. My entire coaching and transformational practice has actually, like, we've entered in a whole new realm. I like to talk about things. I'll make up thinking tools on the top of my head just by looking around my room, but I've never taken something in my room and said, okay, now this is it. All right, now we're going to sing. Like, and just, I have a lot of stuff around me. All of a sudden, my messy desk has become a benefit, right? But look, I got a lot of love for you. I'm glad that you choose to play the way that you play, and that you're able to consistently shift things. Like this conversation has been an experience of you once again, and I'm glad for that. All right, take care, be well, and keep being you.
Likewise, thank you, Niiamah. This has been fun.
Mm-hmm.
We're just getting started. Take 10 seconds to think about your greatest insight from today's conversation. And if you're ready to go and bring this to a deeper, more applicable level for you, come and join us in an upcoming masterclass. Go to outliersedge.com/masterclass to be coached live and to bring your aspirations, your goals, and your challenges and have them handled in real time. This is high flame, high impact, high transformation. Go to outliersedge.com/masterclass and come experience your next level of leadership.